Irony here, welcome to Krazee Adventures. Today we'll be heading out to Chapman Falls at Devil's Hopyard State Park, the Salmon River Overlook, lunch at Tavern on the Hill, and a few other stops along the way. Join us to see where the road leads us. We started our day at Devil's Hopyard State Park. The park is a public recreation area located at the 8 Mile River's Chapman Falls in East Haddam, Connecticut. The 1,000-acre state park includes facilities for hiking, fishing, picnicking, and camping. We parked in the parking area closest to the falls on Foxtown Road. It is a medium-sized parking area that holds about 50 vehicles. An easy walk from the parking area across Foxtown Road to a view of the top of the falls from a bridge. Until 1650, the area of East Haddam was inhabited by at least 3 indigenous peoples, the Wangunk, the Mohegan, and the Niantic. The indigenous nations call the area Moodus, the place of noises, because of the numerous earthquakes that were recorded between 1638 and 1899. Loud rumblings, the Moodus noises, could be heard for miles surrounding the epicenter of the quakes near Mount Tom. The land, which is now Haddam, was purchased by settlers from the natives in 1662 for 30 coats, worth about $100. East Haddam was incorporated as a separate town from Haddam in 1734. What's behind the potholes? The perfectly cylindrical potholes range from inches to several feet in diameter and depth and are some of the finest examples of pothole stone formations in this section of the country. Early settlers explain their great mystery with tales of how the devil was often seen sitting on a huge boulder at the top of Chapman's Falls, playing his violin while the evil witches of Haddam stirred a hell broth for a charm of powerful trouble in the cauldron-like potholes formed in the rocks below. Another story reports that a lone traveler, while walking through the Hopyard one night, saw some weird, shapeless forms leaping from hedges and trees near the falls. Later, these phantoms accosted the terrified man, who then beat a hasty retreat to one of the nearest taverns, where he related his experience to anyone who would listen. Which one do you think is right? Geologists theorize the potholes formed when stones traveling downstream in the current got trapped in an eddy and spun around and around, the friction wearing a depression in the rock. When one rock wore itself down, another would catch in the same hole and enlarge it even more. I think I like the tales better. After exploring the area around the top of the falls, we continued along a well-maintained gravel path, passing trails to the bottom of the falls, to the larger parking area near the pavilion, covered bridge, and hiking trails. There are several stories about the origin of the name Devil's Hopyard. At some time prior to 1800, there was a malt house on George Griffin's farm near Malthouse Brook, a tributary of the 8 Mile River. The malt house was abandoned prior to 1814, but during the period of its operation, Griffin grew hops in a small clearing, the Hopyard, beside the road running through the area, now called Devil's Hopyard. Another popular story is, a man named Dibble had a garden for growing hops. Dibble's Hopyard became Devil's Hopyard. The park is said to be one of the most haunted places in Connecticut. We walked back along the 8 Mile River, which was designated a National Service and Wild River by the U.S. Forest Service, to explore the bottom of the falls. Chapman Falls drops more than 60 feet over a series of steps in a Scotland schist stone formation. The park was the site of an attack by the Sons of Liberty in 1775 on the mill owned by Abner Beebe, a pro-British loyalist. The mill was destroyed and Abner and his brother Asa were tarred and feathered. Chapman Falls powered Beebe's Mills, which was named after the original owner, until the 1890s. The site was acquired by the state for use as a state park in 1919 at the prodding of A.G. Willard, a resident of Colchester who was concerned with the amount of logging in the area.
Can't hike away from here. Hear the falls and feel the breeze as it cools your soul with ease. See a rain beautiful as you. Perfect day, we got it all. Hiking to a beautiful waterfall. Through the trees, hear the water call. Hiking to a beautiful waterfall.
Entrance to the park is free. The park is open 8 a.m. to sunset and offers a 12.5-mile trail network that is for foot travel only. Pets are allowed on leash in the picnic areas and hiking trails. However, they are not permitted in the campground.
Midnight on an empty road, tracing constellations that we used to know. Your voice lingers like a melody, but it's only silence singing back to me. And I still feel you in the cold air, like a whisper I was never meant to hear. I wish I could see your face, illuminated by a million stars, like we were never torn apart. But I wear 1,000 scars from loving you too hard. So take me to the ending of the story, where we don't have to say we're sorry. Letters that I'll never send, folded up with words I swore I'd never meant. Maybe time was never on our side, but you still haunt the edges of my mind. And I still feel you in the cold air, like a whisper I was never meant to hear. I wish I could see your face, illuminated by a million stars, like we were never torn apart. But I wear 1,000 scars from loving you too hard. So take me to the ending of the story, where we don't have to say we're sorry.
We found the Salmon River Overlook on Route 149. There is a small pullout on the shoulder with room for about 10 vehicles. The Salmon River Overlook is an East Haddam open space with newly planted trees, birdhouses, and a lookout structure offering underwhelming views toward the Salmon River.
Just echoes in the dark, fading like a wish on a shooting star. Oh. And I still feel you in the cold air, like a whisper I was never meant to hear. I wish I could see your face, illuminated by a million stars, like we were never torn apart. But I wear
Discovering the Salmon River boat launch nearby, we drove in to explore. It offers plenty of parking for vehicles with boat trailers and views of the Connecticut River, Salmon River, and the East Haddam Swing Bridge.
We don't have to say we're sorry. Where we don't have to say we're sorry.
We then drove along Main Street, commenting on the beautiful historic homes, and passing the Gelston House, which is a restaurant and inn located along the Connecticut River, offering expansive waterfront views. And the Goodspeed Opera House, which officially opened to the public in 1877. The main floor served as a store, office, and steamship docking point, and the top two floors served as a venue for live performances. It was financed by local businessman William Goodspeed. Following his death in 1832, the building fell into disrepair. In 1959, the Goodspeed Opera House Foundation, now known as Goodspeed Musicals, formed with the goal of restoring the building and bringing back theater performances. The Goodspeed Opera House reopened in 1963 and continues to operate today as a theater. Crossing the East Haddam Swing Bridge, a steel movable truss bridge, the bridge is composed of 3 spans crossing the Connecticut River between Haddam and East Haddam, Connecticut. The bridge carries Route 82 with an average daily traffic of 11,600 vehicles. The bridge officially opened on June 14, 1913. Goodspeed Station Country Store in Haddam offers an array of unique gifts, home decor, candles, candy, jewelry, and specialty foods. We enjoyed poking around the many offerings and bought a bag of pretzels for the drive. We found Clark Creek Falls by the traffic circle along Route 82. We pulled over along the construction area. Unfortunately, due to the construction, we were not able to get close to the falls. I wasn't able to find much information online about these falls. If you have any information, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to learn about the area. We stopped for lunch at Tavern on the Hill, a laid-back restaurant that offers smoked meat dishes and a selection of local beers. We had the chopped brisket sandwich with potato chips, a pickle, and coleslaw, and the Texas chicken sandwich with sauteed onions, bacon, cheese, and barbecue sauce, also with chips, pickle, and coleslaw. Let us know where you think we should explore next. Be sure to check the video description for the addresses of our stops today so you can plan a future adventure yourself. Can't wait to see where the road takes us next.